name is Harry. I'm from London.
Meghan Markle here.
Be careful what you wish for it might come true, and look at that. In a mere few weeks, Kate and her 3 children will be close neighbors with Andrew and Sarah when Kate moves into her forever settlement home, Forest Lodge. One will be able to smell what one servant are cooking for dinner. That's a nod to, who said it? Was it Kate's sister? Can you smell what the smell is, or something like that? All right. The squad or something, they know how to throw their shades. It usually make reference to some BS the royal family have said in the past, or to people in their circle. William and Kate will prefer Andrew as neighbor over Harry and Meghan's claims, royal commentator. When was that? That was back in 2023. You see, the squad be keeping receipt. They probably don't want Harry and Meghan as their near neighbor, said commentator Jenny Bunn. Alright, so they were throwing things out there and things starting to fall under the nonsense that they put. The stories over the year are the receipt, undeniable in my humble opinion. There's the laugh here, as if Harry and Meghan would want to be anywhere near either really wet wipe or the petty. It's like a substandard season of Succession. That headline reflect more on Baldy and weighty character and how they think than Harry and Meghan. Alright, next tweet. I'm almost done. I just wanted to know what was going on with Andrew, because it was being talked under my timeline. That WhatsApp group order is, pointing down here, quote, make sure you mention me, William, in every talking point. I'm the talking point. Paint me as the one in charge. Andrew leaving William out of his official statement really bruised his huge ego. Right? I didn't read the statement that Andrew put. I have, you know what? Let me see something. Okay, so let me read Prince Andrew's statement here. I went and looked for it and add this. Exactly. People need to stop filling in the blanks. He has only agreed to stop using the titles. Prince Andrew is still the Duke of York. Okay, so let's read it. I was trying to avoid it, but whatever. Strictly embargoed. 1900 hours, Friday 17th October. Statement by Prince Andrew. In discussion with the king and my immediate and wider family, we have concluded the continued accusations about me distract from the work of His Majesty and the royal family. I have decided, as I always have, to put my duty to my family and country first. I stand by my decision 5 years ago to stand back from the public life. Okay, this is where I said, yeah, you were trying to get back into the public life where you have the, was it a bishop to talk on your behalf as if you have rehabilitated so you could get back to the public life. I covered that on PYTE. With His Majesty's agreement, we feel I must now go a step further. I will therefore no longer use my title or the honor which have been conferred upon me. As I have said previously, I vigorously deny the accusation against me. Yeah, a bunch of lying, but whatever. So he didn't mention William, but William falls under wider family, but William wanted his name to be popped out. I'm telling you, this guy is gonna look for something. He's gonna get it. All right, so I read it. Now back to this. All right. Did I read this? The WhatsApp group order is, pointing down here, make sure you mention me, William, in every talking point, and the talking point paints me as the one in charge, because Andrew did not mention William directly, but he was covered under the family part. Andrew leaving William out of his official statement really bruised his ego. Huge ego. Let's hope his name is not mentioned in the cover-up. His child was used as leverage to silence Virginia and other victims. Okay, what is that here? So that was back in 2019. That journalist had her own issue as well, Amy Robach. because she was one of those who was on off camera, but it was being recorded, that the royal family tried to scare ABC in the US, ABC news station, to not air the Prince Andrew with Epstein topic. So, yeah. Buckingham Palace threatened ABC to kill Epstein link Prince Andrew story, anchor recorded as saying. So that was back in 2019. So she lost her job, not because of Andrew, but of her own infidelity with a co-host. And I don't even know they're together now. You know what was funny? Different topic here, but making reference to her. Her ex-husband, Andrew Shue, who was an actor, which I used to watch his show, I think it was Melrose Place or something like that. It was a show back in the 90s. Okay, so her ex-husband, that actor, Andrew Shue, is seeing the ex of the guy Amy Robach, was dating. The wife of the guy she was cheating on. Let me pause for a second. Let me see if they are still together. Okay, so this is what I'm making reference. It's a story within a story. So this guy, Andrew Shue, is the ex-husband of Amy Robach. And that lady who is next to him is the ex-wife of the guy Amy Robach was cheating with. Okay, so now the two exes are together and they are still together. And the worst thing is, I'm telling you, it's so much tea. They were like friends. Okay, each of those families were friends. And then meanwhile, some nasty thing were happening in the back. And then when they come out, so the two exes, I mean, they've been friends together. Why not? Okay, so yes, Andrew Shue is dating Marilee Verbig. They confirmed their relationship publicly in late 2023 and have since moved in together. According to Page 6 and Yahoo, the couple made their red carpet debut in December 2024. All right, so you could pause and read this, but it's like tea after tea. All right, so there they are here. Perfect. Okay, Andrew Shue was the ex-husband of her, and she was the ex-wife of him. So there they are here. So they went separate ways, and it's a whole bunch of mess. But I'm just glad they're happy though that they are here. Andrew Shue have been out of the out of the limelight since I don't know what movie he has played. Maybe he's just doing business thing. I'm just happy they are happy. Look at them. When you are growing old, you just want someone to be happy with, go old with. But the other two had it, but they messed it up. So they, instead of searching on dating apps, they find each other. Why not? And there they are. But anyway, it's a whole bunch of mess. So that's the story with her. Okay. There's the laugh here. Willie is doing to Chuck what Chuck did to Betty in her final years. What goes around. That's true. Alright, so the whole story was about that. I need to finish. That other sidetrack should have been a video of its own. But hey, when you know, those things pop up when I'm doing those videos. Okay, so that's the thing I just did. I didn't put it twice. I just happened to copy it again. Next tweet. Okay, yes, although this all started with the Queen, she protected him 100%, which makes how she treated Harry, who did nothing wrong, all the more worse. I sort of cover this. I don't expect anybody to agree with me, but the way that I see the royal family work, especially the one in the UK, all right, anyone who produce offspring, they the one who's in charge, okay? So the Queen was at the head. So all of her 4 kids, Andrew, Charles, Anne, what's the other one? Edward. Okay, she take care of them. Let's say whatever money comes in, that's just my explanation. I'm not saying this is the way it works. Okay, let's say money comes in. So the Queen divide that money into 4. And it goes to 4 each of their kids. Okay, forget about the Duchy of Cornwall. I'm not mentioning it. Okay, I'm explaining the way that I see it. All right, so the queen take care of her 4 children and she's done with. Okay, so now those 4 children, Edward, Charles, Anne, and Andrew, now each of their respective kids, okay, each one of them have 2 kids each. You have Andrew, the 2 girls, so that is Andrew's responsibility, not the queen. And then you have Edward with his 2 kids. That's Edward's responsibility. Whatever money the queen gave him to take care of his family, that's his responsibility to do. Okay, and then you have Anne with his 2 kids. That's her responsibility, not the kids, not the queen. And then you have, what's his name? Charles. 2 kids, the 2 boys, that's his responsibility. Now, all of the mess that was going on between Charles and Harry, that was Charles' responsibility. And he did not do anything to stop it. Okay, but when certain thing reaches the queen, okay, because the queen needed Harry to help around when it comes to security and all that, when those things reach the queen did what she can do under her control. Okay, that's the way that I see it. But Charles is not doing what he's supposed to do to protect his kids. Alright, so that's the way that I put it. That doesn't mean I'm right, but that's the way that I see it. Message to King Charles: it's years too late. You should have dealt with it right at the beginning, and your mom shouldn't. Okay, let's see. And your mom shouldn't have bailed him out with £21 million. Okay, Charles repeatedly warned his mother. She'd been dead 3 years ago. Right, there's that. Seville. All right, what has Charles done? Andrew is still a prince. Andrew is still Duke of York. Andrew still live in a royal household with royal security paid by taxpayers. Nothing has changed. He only agreed not to use his title. Total distraction. Okay, so there's more things. I don't want to get too much into it. All right, let's go back. Okay, as much as Harry loved the queen, she was not a good or kind person. Yes, I can't believe that she sided with Charles, Clive, Edward, William over Harry. I just can't believe it. Okay, with that, okay, I have shared some other articles, whether they're true or not, but I'm gonna go based on those. Okay, and I am aware that Charles and Andrew put their heads together to remove the Queen's secretary, because that Queen's secretary was aware of the Epstein thing, and he was preventing Andrew from getting what he wants. Okay, and there are things Charles wanted, and that particular secretary was informing the Queen the way he should have done. He was doing his job properly, and the Queen made decision based on the information the secretary was giving her. Okay, so because Andrew and Charles were not getting what they want from the Queen, so Andrew and Charles used their seniority, put their heads together to remove the Queen's secretary and then replace him with Edward Young. Edward Young is the one who now, at that time, okay, was informing the Queen based on how Charles and Andrew wanted. And then the Queen was making decision under false information. I have covered all of this. This is why we are seeing the Queen did not, the way that we see it now. Because Charles put a puppet, okay, a puppet secretary. Whatever Charles want, and tell the secretary, this is what you should tell my mom. And then my mom, meaning the Queen, and then the Queen rule based on the information, false information that the secretary have given her, allegedly. Okay, just look at the screen. I have those receipts. Okay, so when there's one video where Harry said he had spoken to the Queen, they were gonna meet once he landed to the UK and do all of that. As soon as the secretary know that Harry was gonna meet the Queen, because now Harry was gonna tell the Queen the truth, so they quickly book the Queen with all sort of stuff, outing, and then all of a sudden, the Queen's diary have been all busy. Okay, all that has to do with Charles. They wanted to keep the Queen in the blind. And this is why Harry have said when he was doing interview.
You got a whole restart. You have a whole new focus, a whole new nucleus. How does that land with you?
No, I think the focus is very much the same. Right?
Is it?
Yeah, certainly from my wife's point of view.
Yeah.
We've now moved that life of service to the States, and we'll continue to do what we were doing before. So in that regard, nothing's changed for us. It's just a little bit more complicated to have to sort of restart, if you know what I mean, from a blank canvas.
Sure.
Netherlands Invictus was that US-based journalist who was interviewing him, and Harry said he's a little bit concerned with the people who are surrounding the Queen, because he knew the Queen was surrounded by bad actors, and those bad actors were placed by Charles and Andrew. Okay? So I'm not gonna blame the Queen too much. Okay? So that's that. I mean, F Charles. But in the end, his mother did him no favor, took no shots. Okay? So there's that. Alright. What is it? Vanity Fair had an article called The Trouble with Andrew from 2011. So this wasn't new. Yeah, like I was saying, the original, the secretary of the Queen knew about the Epstein thing. And he was preventing that from blowing up. But Andrew felt, I guess because he's a prince, he's been getting away with so many things. He felt confident with his behavior. So, and Charles as well, they both felt comfortable with their behavior. And I told you, in the US, there's two things American will not accept. People who abuse dogs and people who abuse children. And we are at the children aspect of things. American is not letting this go, no matter what they do. Try to cover it up. People are still calling foul for the Epstein thing. So no matter what they do, eventually something is going to come out. I mean, people already know, but whatever. And this is why also, I guess, when during the RNC, you had two former prime ministers of the UK came to support Trump. And you have one elected officials, what's his name? Farage, and one Brit influencer, I forgot his name, came to support Trump because this is what they wanted for all of these things to go out. But Americans are not letting it go. That's a couple things I have said that coming true. Two things American will not let go. They will do all sort of stupidity, but these two, dogs and children. And now the royal family has messed up with children. They're not going to let it go. All right, let's see here. What they've done to Harry is a disgrace. All he did was live to protect his wife and stand up for himself. However, in that family, speaking out is a bigger sin than being accused of sexual abuse and being mates with a pedo. Okay, word was back in the day that Andrew was her favorite. Liz Windsor, not Camilla Parker Bowles. Okay, never understand why he was her favorite. I don't know. I really don't know. She's dead. We will never know. Next tweet, I have 3 more. All right, what is actually going on with these BBC headlines? What does King Charles do, and who else is in the royal family? All right, the better question is, what does any of the royal family do aside from Harry and Meghan, who are constantly working? Who else? We already know about William. He said he sleep and what was he did? He said with that interview he did, he brought in that American media to come and interview him. He sleeps all day and go to pick up the kids. And the squad was saying, which one who's lying here? Because if Kate said she pick up the kids, why will William go pick up the kids? Or do they pick up the kids together? I don't know. You know they can stand being together. All right. I thought Anne was Queen's sister and then know there was Edward until Meghan joined that family. Me too. I didn't even know. They have a spin-off, you know, when you put a story just to cover empty space. All right. Maybe they realize that most of the world doesn't know or care who these people are. I mean, I didn't even know that Edward, Sophie, and Anne even exist until Meghan married into that family. Okay, this is the thing too. They bother Meghan so much where people's looking into their BS. If they had just left her alone, all of these things would go under the radar. Nobody will give her a F, because the tabloid is not really putting it out there, but people are digging up because they bother Harry and Meghan. Desperate for engagement. All right. Now that Epstein file is spewing atrocities, UK media has decided to spill the beans, aka the long wish of citizens. They were afraid before, but now picking up courage. Next tweet. This is the thing. The UK like to play all side of things, because before they were part of the people who were putting it under the rug, but because people are speaking about it now, they pretend now they are forcing their hand to speak about it as well in some shape or form, even though they still, they're taking their time. Let's just say that they're taking their time. So if things depend on how things go, if Trump is able to get away with some of his things and the Epstein file never made public, at least they could, take that deep breath and say, whew, thank God we didn't put it out. But at the same time, they're giving a little sprinkle of that, so when things do come out, they could say, oh, we see, we were talking about it too. All right, they're playing both sides. All right, next tweet. When the balcony goes ozempic, I'm telling you, those quite a freaking something. If you know, you know. There's the laugh here. The squad are laughing my ass off. I see what you did there. That's an ad. Love to see it. All right, next tweet. I'm telling you, this is why they don't like the squad. The squad are having fun with their stupidity and, turn it to something to laugh about, even though some of the headlines are very sad. Next tweet. They asked her to leave their island and go back to America.
If you want to be private, go back to America and live privately. It's pretty straightforward.
Which she did. So why are they so adamant to see her fail? Why do they care about her business, and what is their interest? Yeah. There's that here. They want her to suffer. They need tears. Yeah, these people are evil. If their enemy are not in some sort of a form of distress, they're not happy. They will be happy if they see someone else is miserable. Okay, they want her to suffer. They need tears. They need Harry and Meghan to call back to palace doors, begging to be let in. They want the chance to say Harry can, but you can't. Instead, they see the opposite and they can deal. Yeah, they wanted to be the one to say no and then to trash her. Well, they're doing it anyway, but it's just that Harry and Meghan are not paying them attention and not giving them the satisfaction that they craving for. The UK media palace PR main goal was to see her emotionally beaten down and destroyed. It has not happened, and they are livid. Meghan is glowing, and this is why we need to keep on praying, because these people, they do not know peace. Right? Whatever's on the screen, this is an ad. Because they're too cowardly to attack Harry, so they hurt him through mocking and demeaning his wife and on occasion their children. And King Charles and the brothers sit back and watch it happen while supporting mental health charities. That's another point as well. This is where Charles should speak up, but he's not speaking up. And there's different branches of that as well. Let me not go into it. Because she was to leave and go back alone, she took the prince with her and showed him a better life. They will never forgive her for that. Well, all of the problem you see that they are facing, the institution, and all of the good thing you see Harry and Meghan are experiencing, it's due to them, to the royal family, the media, who caused all of that. It's just that Harry and Meghan choose a better path, not a vile and meanful things. So God is blessing each one of them in their respective ways. And Harry and Meghan were tested by God, and they still come out on top, and God is blessing them because she's making the left behinders look bad. And all they had to do is don't mind her any business. All right. Next tweet. This is my last one, okay? That was going on, and I decided to add it so it is mentioned on this channel as well, but I've already mentioned it on PYTE. Confession of a female founder with at Meghan just won gold in the business people and entrepreneurs shaping culture category at the national Signal Award, and we are also a listener's choice winner. Your votes made this happen. Lemonada on Instagram. Okay, so there's that. Okay, 4th annual Signal Award winner, Confession of a Female Founder. Meghan Sussex scored a decisive win for Confessions of a Female Founder. Wins, she won the Gold Award and the People's Choice Award. Meg bought another award. Sweetie, you're welcome. This is the thing. Every time she went and then they claim she buys it. Can you imagine that? People don't have time for this. Sweetie, you're welcome to believe anything that will help you cope with Meghan being more successful than you'll ever be in your little life. That's a very good response. Okay, yes, our squad did. There's that. Thanks for sharing, Joe. And yes, we all did this. So proud and happy for Meghan. Yes, we did. There's the clap here. There's they are. Okay, paying. I mean, we've seen the work that they are doing. Okay, and if you go on PYTE, there's one of my videos where I highlighted the people who decide about the gold award kind of thing. These are people you cannot persuade or you cannot buy for. They all are successful in their own way. All right, so that is it. Let's do a prayer. Okay, this I need to put on the list. Okay, that's when I was looking for that prayer. I don't have one from the squad. Prayer for, let's say, connection. Okay, with God. Okay, I wasn't thinking of that, but okay. Lord, help me to understand your will and your ways. Open my eyes to see the world as you see it, and give me a heart that is receptive to your word. Help me to trust in your guidance, even when it leads me down paths that are difficult or unfamiliar. Father, I pray that you will strengthen me and my faith. This part here, I was thinking of Harry and Meghan. Even when it leads me down the paths that are difficult or unfamiliar. Harry and Meghan have gone through that path. Okay, this is why I keep on saying they were tested to see they are worthy of what to come, which Harry and Meghan are experiencing right now. All right, so, and I've said this in the past. Harry, just look at the screen. I have two words. One is straightforward. This is Meghan. Meghan knew what she wanted from the get-go. Harry, on the other hand, in order for him to come and meet Meghan where they are at right now, Harry had to go through all of those zigzags because the royal family, after his mom passed, were not teaching him things that will make him self-sufficient or be worthy of being with Meghan. So all of the trial and tribulation that Harry went through, those zigzag, he had to go through them before he could meet Meghan. So now this is why he understand, well, since they were dating, he understood Meghan's, well-minded and things that she was doing and things like that. So Harry had to go through the path that he went through. And Meghan went through hers as well, but the thing that Meghan went through were not things, is like live experiences, things that people around him were doing. You see, when she was on Spotify, some of the experiences that she went through and some of her conversation, she would bring, she would bring conversation about the Rodney King, the rioting, things. She would bring different pieces during the 90s as she was growing up that helped shape her viewpoint. Okay, if you can, go listen to some of her old podcasts when she was on Spotify, and I think it's also on Lemonada. You could listen to it. So she will bring some of her experiences, things that she used to see and question herself and things like that. That was her live experiences. So that was shaping her as she was moving forward. That was shaping her. Her path was somewhat straight, but there were branches of things that were happening throughout her life, as she was growing up, that helped her stay on course, okay, to make her what she is. But Harry, on the other hand, was in it, was experiencing it. They were putting unnecessary burden, tribulation. Like, for instance, he was smoking and taking drugs. Who was giving him? If the palace was secure that much, who was providing him those drugs he was smoking and all of that? Okay, that's what I mean. He was living it until he come across Meghan, and then you see, he understands certain things. If you go on Pt2, there's some videos that I have, a GQ interview he did during the Black Lives Matter. That guy who went and picked up a black guy, a black Brit, who picked up a white Brit who was being beaten up by a group of people because of his racist mindset kind of thing. Harry was interviewing him. In that interview, Harry had said something like, there are things that he would have never considered to be an issue if he wasn't with Meghan. So being with Meghan opened his eyes to some of the things that he was shielded, or because he grew up in that thing and that lifestyle. So things were the outside world, okay? The reality of things were carved out for him to not face them. But inside his family, that's a different story, okay? With what people like Meghan was experiencing, they shielded him from those. So he never understood these things, okay? Until he is with Meghan, all the racist headlines, those, all those things he experienced. You don't even have to watch my video. Just go on YouTube and go watch that GQ interview. You will learn a lot from it, okay? I think I did a review on that. So, this is my prayer. That's what I got out of all that, the prayer. So, please take a moment to subscribe, like, and share. If you want to support this channel, there's a PayPal link and a Cash App link in the description. You could donate. And also, leave comment. Let me know what you think. Agree or disagree, as long your comment makes sense, okay? If you bring in your racist mindset, nothing that has to do with the video, I'm just gonna block you, okay? So that's it. Thank you for watching.
It is a great privilege to be with all of you today.
You know, we ask for forgiveness and please come back.
As you saw me find the love and happiness that I'd hoped for all my life. You are all in this together, and if I may speak personally, we are all in this together, because asking for help was one of the best decisions that I ever made. You will be continually amazed how life changes for the better.